do roll call attendance, of course.
Okay. Ready for CSS?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 8th meeting of Community Safety and Security. We have the minutes distributed electronically previously. I'm looking for a motion from Legislator Hill and a second for Legislator Roberts.
Second.
Okay, motion by Legislator Hill, second by Legislator Robbins. On the minutes. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Having not opposed, we'll move down into our agenda. Our Sheriff's Department, we have one resolution in there.
Legislator Nemi will move it.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Legislator Nemi on the first, Legislator Mullane on the second. Sheriff Filicetti, any comments?
This is merely an extension of our SRO, our school resource officer at Start Point. Something we'd like to continue with school safety being part of the county.
It's been a long-standing relationship for quite a while. It's a good thing. Any other questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? No opposed, that motion is passed. Thank you, Sheriff. Also, Sheriff Filicetti, while you're there, I read an email earlier reminding our elderlies out there of the scams that are going on here recently. If you could just quickly.
Roll call vote.
Dave, were we going to be doing a roll call vote? This is Chris Robbins. I thought that's what Chairman would have said at the beginning.
You're right, my mistake. Thank you. Okay, Joan, could you take our roll call, please?
Yes, Legislator Robbins,
Yes.
Legislator Mullane,
Yes.
Legislator Hill,
Yes.
Chairman Godfrey,
Yes.
Legislator Nemi,
Yes.
Legislator Bratt,
Yes.
I believe that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Legislator Robbins, for that reminder. I'm not used to doing a roll call, obviously, but virtual, that's most important. Thank you. Sheriff Filicetti, if you could just give us a quick brief on that email regarding some of the scams going on while we've got you.
Yeah, this, obviously with the pandemic, the IRS scams are big. Just a reminder we put out to, don't provide any personal information. You don't need anything you don't have to take any action to receive your check or anything like that from the federal government. Most recently, the grandson in jail is still popular. We had a lady in Gasport who actually sent $8,500. She went and took $8,500 out of her checking account. Had a courier come and pick it up, and thankfully we caught it in time. It was sitting at an Office Max in Niagara Falls. We got a subpoena. We were able to get that back with the help from the DA's office and return that money back, and we're still investigating it. But usually once the money goes out the door, we don't get it back. So, we keep putting out reminders on all the different types of scams that are coming out, and they seem to really target the elderly who are quick to react because they get nervous. So with it being Elder Abuse Awareness Month, we'll be putting messages out, but it's just important for anybody that has elderly parents, grandparents, to just keep an eye on things with their bank accounts and whatnot.
Thank you very much, and certainly we remind everyone that if you get any of these bogus calls, especially asking for cash, to reach out directly to our Sheriff's Department and double check with them. It's a good practice to do so to protect ourselves. So thank you very much for that comment. Good email.
Thanks.
Okay, moving down, District Attorney, we have one agenda this evening regarding the memorial grant from the Reverend Edward Burns Memorial. Carolina?
Hello, Mr. Chairman. It's Donna. Donna's here from the District Attorney's Office. This is a resolution requesting signatures on a memorandum of understanding that would permit the City of Niagara Falls to reapply for this grant that they have gotten for several years. We are a disparate jurisdiction with them, meaning that the majority of the crime comes out of their section of the county. Therefore, they're entitled to that portion of the money.
Okay, good. We have a motion?
Motion.
By Legislator Robbins, a second?
That was Legislator Gooch made the motion.
Then I'll second.
Okay. On the question. For the grant? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, if any? Hearing no opposed or opposition, that one is passed. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, moving down then to our public defender. We have a resolution here for the public defender's office to accept the indigent legal services. What do we have on tonight?
Yes, this is Nicholas Robinson from the Public Defender's Office. What you have in front of you is a resolution for $1.6 million for distributions that have been paid out from the counties going back to 2014. When I took office, I started going through some things, realized that this hadn't been kept up on, and with Kathleen Kugler's help from the conflicts office and Lori Wen, my assistant, they were able to get the contract sent to everybody at the end of April. And then now we're ready to be reimbursed for all the money that has been spent since 2014.
Okay. We're looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Legislator Mullane on the motion.
Legislator Nemi seconds it.
Sorry, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Motion made and seconded. On the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, if any? I hear no opposition. That resolution is also passed. Thank you very much. Nothing for probation this evening, or you do have one final resolution. The fire coordinator, Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a budget modification for accepting payment for reimbursement for supplies and equipment used at a hazmat incident. $4,599.
Okay. Looking for a motion.
Motion.
Legislator Brett.
Okay. That Legislator Gooch, who'd I hear?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded. On the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, if any?
Aye.
No opposition? And that one is also passed. The last resolution on our agenda this evening, and for the good of the committee. I'd just like to give recognition, as always, to the Sheriff's Department and all law enforcement, and also Jonathan for the great job they've been doing out there, not only with the pandemic, but all the issues that we've been having in the streets with the protests and the rallies that are going on there. So continue a good job. Please be safe out there. And we do appreciate all your work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave,
Motion to adjourn, legislator.
Dave, can I add to that? It's Chris Robbins.
Yes.
I want to just add on to what Legislator Godfrey just said. I had a conversation yesterday with the Niagara Falls Chief of Police, Licata, and he couldn't speak any higher of the Sheriff's Department and acting Sheriff Filicetti for all the support they had with all our great protests, but all our protests and just being there to be helpful, and it just shows when we are all working together how much we can be accomplished. So thank you, Sheriff Filicetti, as well as everyone else that was involved in that. Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Any further comments? Motion to adjourn?
I'll move it. Legislator Hill.
Legislator Hill, and a second?
I'll second it.
And motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Obviously not. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
You too.